I'm Miss Tillman, and I'm so glad you'll be substituting for my class today. On this PowerPoint, I've included links to a Quizlet and a Kahoot, as well as instructions for you. For the homework last night, the students were supposed to read chapters 1 through 3 of The Great Gatsby and write down any terms and quotes that they found interesting or had more questions about. This lesson will be focusing on the vocabulary from those chapters and how the author's word choice impacted the tone of the chapters. To begin the lesson, the students will answer questions from the Quizlet provided. If you don't feel comfortable using the projector for this activity, the students are welcome to use the laptops to access this link from my class page. In the Quizlet, it is asking questions about the events in the chapters. If you do, however, use the projector for this activity, please use the equity sticks that I've left on my desk to select students to answer questions. When you introduce the vocabulary lesson, I want you to ask the students the main question. How does the author's word choice impact the tone of the text? Along with their notebooks, their copy of The Great Gatsby, and a class laptop, you will be providing them with their worksheet for this lesson. The class will be divided into groups of 4, and I've left you a list of which groups each student will be in. For the worksheet, there are pre-selected terms and quotes. The student's job is to fill in the definitions and figure out in their group how to use these terms in class-appropriate sentences. For the quotes, they'll need to determine the tone and how the author's word choice was able to convey this tone. At the bottom of the worksheet, there's space for the students to provide the terms that they selected from their homework the previous night. In their group, they're more than welcome to talk, so long as their conversation is focused on the lesson. If you see any students starting to stray from the lesson and going into conversation that's not related, please feel free to step in and ask them questions about what they're doing, how their assignment's going, if they've finished with the assignment already. If they have finished the worksheet, encourage them to move on to answering the lesson's main question in their notebook. When all the students have finished their worksheets, turn them in, and answer the question in their notebook, you're more than welcome to move on to the Kahoot. Much like the Quizlet, if you don't feel comfortable using the projector for this, the students are able to access this link from my class page. For this activity, they're to remain in their groups, and they will need a class laptop to participate. The team with the best score at the end of the game will get a prize when I return to class. With the last 5 minutes of class, I'd like you to introduce their homework. They'll be reading chapters 4 through 6 and focusing on the impact of point of view. Again, thank you so much for substituting my class, and I hope they were good for you. If there are any students that you had any trouble with, or any students that had questions that you weren't able to answer, please leave their name at my desk, and I'll make sure that I talk to them when I return to class.